unfortunately, though, we were talking about the commercial sector and how good they are at lobbying and sticking together. Anglers are rather less good at that, so we tend to go fishing to get away from all that stuff. This is an interesting picture. Some of you may know what sort of fish that is. It's a bass, but it's got stripes on it. It's a striped bass. Not very original, from the northeast of the United States. The chap that's holding it there, looking very pleased with himself, is a postman from South Wales. He saves his money, which he can every year, to spend it on taking a trip to the States to fish for striped bass. And he spends a lot of money to do that, because the bass fishing in the States is far better than it is in the UK. And to see why, we need to have a little look back at history. 1982, there was a crisis of striped bass in the northeast of the USA. They got good data. They were down to 5 million small fish. It was being managed for the commercial fishing sector. They recognised a crisis, and for 5 years there was a complete moratorium on taking the bass by commercials and by recreational sea anglers. By 1996, they declared the stock recovered, 10 times increase in the number of fish, and the average size much larger. They split most of the states in the northeast went this way, not quite at all. Split the total allowable catch. They had a quota system and split it 80% recreational sea angling sector, 20% to the commercials, and the commercials did very well out of it actually. Angling spend, direct spend in that period goes from $85 million to $560 million in that period of restoring striped bass stocks. And a 2003 study, the Southwick study, identified by then that direct spend on striped bass fishing in the northeast of the USA, direct spend was $2.4 billion, but the total value to the economy, when you add up all the indirect effects of all that fishing, $6.6 billion striped bass angling industry. 26 times greater than the commercial fishing value. You might say, oh yes, but the recreational don't catch a lot more if you do it on a pound basis. 8 times greater per pound of striped bass caught. Now, the Americans are very, very good at economics, very, very good at business, but it did take crisis for them to get there. A little closer to home, that's the kind of sign that you might see in Southern Ireland. Southern Ireland recognised 20 years ago an economic opportunity and a potential problem. They banned commercial fishing for bass in Southern Ireland. And as a result, they have the best bass angling in Europe. Its value is just the tourist element of the value of recreational sea angling for bass. It just in Southern Ireland is worth a lot more than the value of all the commercial landings of bass into the UK. The commercial sector in Ireland hasn't stood still. They've been campaigning for the last 2 years to have that changed and to allow them to commercially exploit bass. And very interestingly, Northern Ireland moving very close to the Southern Irish regime. You can tell I want to give a helping hand to bass, so I had to put this picture in, a little beauty of baby bass. This was in July down in the Cornish estuary. That bass was born in the spring, so it's only a few months old. It's when they venture into the estuaries to live for 5 or 6 years, grow up into nearly adults and explore the world at that stage. He looks a bit like food for something else, for a heron or whatever, but he doesn't look like he's got much political clout either. But having said that, we've even had a Prime Minister in the past talking about bass. Now, I'd like to hope that a Prime Minister of Great Britain is the best advised person in the country. Now, they should be, shouldn't they? Yeah, the Prime Minister should be the guy or woman who gets the best advice. You can call on whatever advice they want. And this was what the Prime Minister in 2004 said. Typically cagey, cautious language you might expect from a Prime Minister, but I don't believe Prime Ministers make those kind of statements without very good advice, without very good evidence, without knowing very certainly what they want to see happen. Fisheries Department should review the evidence supporting arguments for redesignating commercially caught species for wholly recreational sea angling, beginning with bass by the end of 2004. That's what Tony Blair said. And we very nearly got it. In 2006, the then Fisheries Minister announced a 2-stage increase in the bass minimum landing size to protect stocks, to allow stocks to recover, to firstly 40 centimetres, then 45. It didn't happen, and I actually think the 40 centimetre move was the wrong move. I think it would be costly to the gill netting industry because they'd have to buy new nets to avoid discarding, and then when it moves 45, new nets again. It seems a bit of a waste of money, but much more importantly, at 40 centimetres, the otter trawl industry, trawling those adolescents, are still incentivised to make those trawls. You just get bigger discards, because instead of discarding everything that they catch below 36 centimetres, they discard everything below 40. At 45, maybe at 48, I think those trawls done by otter trawlers, bottom trawlers, have got very little to catch that won't be discarded to actually pay for those costs. So I think at 45 or preferably 48, you've actually reduced discards, because those high discard levels that we saw from trawlers earlier won't happen, because those trawlers won't have a reason, a financial incentive to make those trawls anymore. European fisheries policy seems dominated by the French. Stop there on that one. Talk forever about that. And I don't really want to. And that was 2004, was before bass angling, fly fishing, lure fishing really took off. Very, very popular nowadays. And I know it might cost how much money you can spend on that. Okay, so we need to talk a bit about evidence. The first thing is there are 1 million plus sea anglers, and they all come with a free brain and a pair of eyes and a memory. And if you go talk to sea anglers, they'll tell you about what bass fishing used to be like, especially those with a lot more experience of bass fishing than I have, particularly going back. For some reason, that's dismissed as anecdotal. survey and pay a lot of money to an academic to ask anglers the questions. It counts. Very pleased to see that that is happening in the CNU 2012 project that you may or may not have heard of. If you're still not sure about talking to anglers to get advice, look at what ICES have said. Only in September 2011, there is insufficient information to evaluate the status of the European sea bass. Therefore, based on precautionary considerations, ICES advises that catches should not be allowed to increase in 2012. Well, fine words, but there's no mechanism to actually deliver that. Why bother saying it? There isn't a quotas for bass. Where's the mechanism to actually deliver that? And indeed, below that opening paragraph, they made it clear that they've been promoting extra protection measures for bass since 2004, and were simply repeating what they previously said. Then, if you find that paper on the internet, it's not hard to find. You'll see below those two paragraphs in the graph showing European catches, landings of wild sea bass, and it peaks in 2006. 9 years after that last really good spawning year of 1997, when the fish are all just about adults, worth catching. It peaked in 2006 and has declined steeply since then. They haven't got 2010 numbers up there yet. It seems some countries are not able to verify in 2012 what their number, September 2011 anyway, what their 2010 numbers were. CFAS is a government scientific agency, shows for the first stats from the Marine Management Organisation, UK catches to the end of October 2011 were flat on the previous year, but interestingly in Dorset and Hampshire, the landings into Weymouth and Portsmouth, two big ports here for bass landings, the bass landings were down 30%. October 2011 for the 10 months to the end of October 2011 compared to the previous year. The evidence from CFAS that they've shown and given to the Bass Anglers Sportfishing Society shows bottom trawlers catching very few adult bass. Now, there should be adult bass in those areas as well as those adolescents, and I do wonder where they are. Since the start of the 1990s, there's a CFAS piece of data, some graphs that they've shown us. The numbers of 10-year-old bass and catches have dropped to very low levels, except for a spike around 1999-2000. So that's just over 10 years after 1997. Really good spawning year. And preliminary findings, yet to see if these are actually confirmed, so I wouldn't put too much emphasis on this. Findings of the CFAS, so the young bass surveys that were done just recently found, and I quote, almost no group of year one bass, so that's bass born in 2011 and 2010. Now those young bass, that tiny little bass that you saw in the chat stand, they are susceptible in nursery areas to very cold winters. Hadn't been a problem for quite a while, until 2 winters ago. They're believed to start dying off when water temperatures drop below 5 to 6 degrees C. So in some ways we were expecting some pretty poor survey results for young bass, although the O group is a bit of a surprise. those sea anglers that we talked about don't just go fishing. This is a bunch of sea anglers down in Cornwall doing netting of the young bass, surveying an estuary down there. They've been doing this for years with scientific oversight to make sure that it's done in a scientifically rigorous way, the same place, year in, year out. The results of that survey are also sent into CFAS. So, and there's some common sense. I do sometimes think, many years ago I was a scientist, but I've been a businessman much longer, and I think we forget common sense at our peril when we stay focused so much on rigorous scientific evidence. You know, I sometimes think things that it can be a little bit like fiddling while Roman burns. You know, if I'm standing on the deck of the Titanic, I'm not going to wait until the water's lapping at my knees before I conclude it really is sinking. You know, common sense will tell you it's sinking. So, some very common sense things that strike me from what I've just said. And a message perhaps to policymakers, if there were any here, would you take the risk of actively doing nothing? Because to do nothing is to actively do nothing. It's not a passive thing. You're actively choosing to do nothing. I think with common sense and what we've seen, I would take that risk. Is a man getting away from it all? Which means it's the fluffy stuff. So we've talked about hard-nosed economics and commercial fishing, and we shouldn't really forget, I think, the fluffy stuff. We all know times tough, they're going to be tough, I think, for many years to come. The stresses and pressures on men and women and young adults of that, I think we need to be thinking about ways to help people and to cope with what's coming. And I think angling, frankly, is a great way to cope with stresses of the world. It's a great way to reconnect people with nature. But it only really works if there are fish out there to catch. It's interestingly, it is quite a big element of this Sea Angling 2012 project. But I actually think, back to the common sense bit, all that will tell us is things that we really already know. It's me thinking about summer again. So what should we do? Well, I think if we want to maximise economic value for the country, we should follow the Southern Ireland lead. You know, we can look at it. We're not taking a gamble. We can see what they've done, and we can follow that lead, or we could follow the American lead and share the resource sensibly and for best economic value between recreational and commercial fishermen. I'll skip a couple just to that bottom one, because that's something that the Bass Anglers Sportfishing Society and others are pushing quite hard for at the moment. A simple increase to the minimum landing size from 36 centimetres to 48. So at least you can know that the fish that you take have one chance to replace themselves in stocks before we take them. I'm going to skip over that because I'm a bit short on time. So the opening question was how to store stocks and why bother? Why bother? Well, we've looked at economic reasons, and I think there are So it's the law that Marine Strategy Framework Directive says that the population should be characterised by an abundance of larger, older bass. I wish there was an abundance of bass like that out there. That would be great. I have a big smile on my face to him as well. To avoid the risk of a crisis. Sorry, it's me again with some tiddler, some absolute tiddler. When that's what you're catching, when you can't catch big angler bass, I do wonder if we're actually already at the start of the crisis. It really does make me wonder. Still make me happy though. So we don't own the fish, we are looking after them for future generations. You know, I want my kids, your kids, their kids to go fishing and enjoy it, to enjoy the marine environment the way it's supposed to be, not devoid of fish, as I fear it may be becoming. But I think there's a much bigger, deeper reason as to why bother. You know, and it's about that picture. We are human. You know, we can exploit. We have the right to take because we've given ourselves that right. But I think we have the responsibility to look after. And in the case of bass, I think we've got the responsibility to restore bass stocks. So that's the usual sight. If you get the chance to look through that shiny, mobile, difficult to see through interface between the air and the sea that seems to hide so much, if you get through that and look underneath the sea, that's what I think you should be seeing. Thank you very much. Sorry, I think I've run over time a bit, so I have to speed up again. A few questions?
Yes, we have questions from Nigel. You've not touched at all on the aquaculture, the fish farming side of things at all here. And I mean, certainly my experience from going to the supermarket is you tend to see almost nothing but very, very small
Absolutely.
farms.
I ran over time already. Sorry about that. Yeah, agriculture, very important point. Just pick that one up first.
Yeah, sure.
Agriculture is about 80,000 tonnes of bass farmed each year in the Mediterranean, compared to about 8,000 tonnes, so a dropping of wild bass caught in by the UK and France and Spain, Belgium, and the countries that catch bass. So the agriculture industry for bass farming in the Mediterranean is much bigger than commercial catching of bass. And that really makes me think, again, you know, for economic value, if you do as the Prime Minister suggested in 2004, dedicate this fish to recreational sea angling and allow the agriculture sector to supply our food needs, which it looks like it can because it's producing 10 times as much as we're catching already. That's a good result without commenting on all sorts of food for agriculture, we're carnivorous fish like bass. But you're right, agriculture is a big element. I'll also say, as a guy who's had 20 odd years reasonably successfully in the food industry, competing